What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and a few days ago I made a video about the leaked concept art from Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, a book that's coming out. I believe in March it's going to be released, but a lot of images released online, and a lot of people started talking about them because it seemed to show a movie that had a lot of parts we didn't see, and that's always how concept art is. But one thing in particular, started really catching on, and it was, here's obviously some of the concept art, and we went over, I will link that video in the description so you guys can watch it for yourself. We go over all the art. However, these two images right here of this giant spider-like creature on top of what seems to be like a kind of like a giant head, described maybe as a baby head or a troll head or something. This creature right here had so many people talking, and a lot of people saying, wow, this is Tor Vallum. Now, if you don't know who Tor Vallum is, in the leaked script, Duel of the Fates, Episode 9, written by Colin Trevorrow, Tor Vallum was this 7,000-year-old creature that Kylo went and got trained by. Apparently it was Palpatine's master or something ridiculous like that. And so many sites started running with this. But Colin Trevorrow has clarified something. Colin Trevorrow has said that I was right. One of the lone voices saying, not running with this ridiculous narrative and assuming that this was Tor Vallum. But look at all these places that said it. IGN, obviously, right here, they're the ones that, that's the first article I pulled up. But also, Forbes. Here's a look at the Star Wars Skywalker villain that almost was. They say it's Tor Vallum, okay? MovieWeb, boom, same kind of headline. TVOM, same kind of headline. NewsDeo, Fansided. All these things have nearly the exact same headline, all writing the exact same story. And that's how a lot of these publications work. They're writing these articles to try and generate clicks, and I get that. But the problem is these people aren't doing their research. And Colin Trevorrow confirmed. The great Colin Trevorrow, thank you very much, sir, on Twitter, responds to that IGN article we initially looked at. And of course, they say images from the not yet released Star Wars art book appear to show us what the much discussed Trevorrow script, Duel of the Fates, might have looked like on the big screen. Colin Trevorrow responds, and he's not very active on Twitter, so I was able to see this fairly quickly. Some beautiful work in here from artists I was lucky enough to work with, but nothing from our story. Credit where credit is due. Love Phil Sostak's books. Thank you. And he's the person who wrote this Art of Rise of Skywalker book. So thank you, Colin Trevorrow. Thank you for clearing that up. Glad to know that my instincts were right. And my instincts were right because unlike all of these other journalists or authors that are writing for these sites, I'm actually paying attention. I'm looking into things. I'm looking at Star Wars leaks. And if we read something from Jedi Praxis, 9 months ago, I'm going to remember it. And the very first thing that I thought of, like I explained in my video, and again, I'll link that video, is that this character right here sounds like the Oracle, a character that was in the first round of leaks for J.J. Abrams' The Rise of Skywalker. And I don't understand, people were talking about this. People were talking about those leaks for a long time. And these leaks turned out to be 100% true because the Jedi Praxis leaks, they came out and almost every step along the way, as reshoots happen, as different things happened, they changed. And the end product we got was exactly the movie The Rise of Skywalker. Maybe even in more detail because it explained parts of the script that weren't necessarily played out on screen. So I don't know how you can forget about that. That's so important. And that just goes to show you that a lot of these sites are just absolute garbage tier. They're not into Star Wars. That's part of the problem. And sure, we do use a lot of these articles to generate stories to talk about because some of what they hear is true. But some of what they hear, they just hear it and they pick it up. And I'll get into that again, something else. After I talk about the Oracle leaks, I will talk about more stuff where the media has made these false assumptions, specifically in regards to the Kenobi story that's out there. Now, this is a leak from Jedi Praxis. Now, this was 4 months ago when he did his updated and expanded Act 1. So this is about 3 months before the movie released, where after the initial leaks that came out on Reddit, he did more. He's like, hey, well, this is some updates that we have to the story after we got more information. And it's in the very beginning of the movie, the third scene, Forest Planet bathed in red light. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, basically partly the scene that we did see at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker. When we catch up with the villains in our story, Kylo is leading an assault on this planet with the purpose of finding Darth Vader's Wayfinder. The device reveals coordinates within the unknown regions, and Kylo is confident that it will reveal the source of Snoke's power. Kylo slaughters his way to the natives and is eventually led to the Oracle, who gives him the Wayfinder. Now, the Oracle, if you go to that, this was written 9 months ago. Details on Kylo Ren and the Oracle in Episode 9. Again, by Jedi Praxis, the person who was 100% on this stuff. Now, Kylo either seeks out or is summoned by a new character that's being referred to as my source as the Oracle. In addition to concept art, which probably is what we saw, probably exactly what we're talking about now is probably exactly what Jedi Praxis was talking about 9 months ago, this concept art. She also saw the sculpt of the giant baby head as the Oracle sits atop of it, and is described as essentially identical to the art, just unpainted, with the size appearing to be 8 to 10 feet wide. There you have this Oracle sitting on top of this baby head, 8 to 10 feet wide. My source could not confirm for sure, but this is under the assumption that the swamp environment that the Oracle is found on is the forested planet seen in previously leaked set photos. He's also in the impression that the spider-like creature is somehow parasitic. And he talks about where it could have been inspired from, the Dagobah spiders, the Ralph McQuarrie art, things like that. But there is no doubt in my mind, because I read this because I was, I was interested in learning about Star Wars, unlike a lot of these media types. Even this Star Wars that I don't like, right? That's what this YouTube channel is about, is Star Wars in one way or another, whether it's expanding universe, whether it's talking and criticizing the Disney stuff, whatever it is, right? And so when I saw this, that is the Oracle. It's not Tor Vallum, as much as you want to try to say it. Maybe Tor Vallum was kind of inspired by it, but people are making these leaps in logic because they heard something a day ago, and then they're trying to connect this, regardless of the information that was actually out there. And that's sad with the media, and that's why people are turning away from media in a grand sense and turning towards YouTube and just people that they trust and things like that. Now, not all of my instincts are 100% right, but usually when I'm doing it, I'm telling you that it's speculation. I'm not making this grand sweeping statement that this is what it is and this is my headline. I say that this is my kind of opinion or my guess, which is what I did in the video I made a couple days ago. I said, I don't really think this is right. This is what I think. I think they're misinterpreting it. And of course, now that Colin Trevorrow has come out and said, yes, Ryan, you were right, now I can come to you and I can say, yes, definitively, I was right. And that's awesome. But it's not just with this. It's with things like the Kenobi story. If you guys remember this Kenobi story that broke several days ago, where all of a sudden people were talking about the Kenobi series being canceled. And then a couple hours later, you have every single one of these articles coming out and say, no, the Kenobi series isn't canceled. This was a parody. And of course, what they're talking about is a tweet. And I'll go ahead and overlay it on the screen. I won't actually pull it up right here, but you can see this tweet was from a parody account saying that Star Wars Kenobi was canceled. But this was days before this rumor actually broke. And if you actually did any digging and looked into it, you will see that numerous people in the entertainment business were talking about this Obi-Wan series potentially having problems and potentially being up in the air. It was not based on this tweet. What happened was, like everybody else, these journalists went to Twitter and they searched Kenobi canceled, and the first thing they came up was this parody tweet. So like, oh, that's where this rumor is coming from. No, this was a coincidence. There's nearly no doubt in my mind that this was a coincidence. And there's actually some problems. And you look at things like Grace Randolph, who, think what you will about Grace Randolph, but she does have some connections. she has said as much that there are definitely rumblings behind the scenes. Now, the show is not canceled, but that doesn't mean that everything is hunky-dory. And people just aren't doing their due diligence when they're looking into these things. And it's sad because people trust what a lot of these sites are putting out. And again, if one of them runs an article, all of them just hop on to basically plagiarize that, whatever article that is, and put it out so they can be in the search results as well and get their clicks. Which, hey, I get wanting to get clicks, right? That's what everyone's about, is building their brand. But you got to be right. So, and I do understand that, right? That's what we all want to do. We all want to be part of that. We all want to ride that wave when things are popular, to get people to click on whatever we think is the right take or our take or whatever. But the problem is, a lot of these people aren't actually doing the due diligence, or maybe they just don't even know. Maybe they're just hired to write based on reactions from things that are trending on Twitter. I don't know. But I do think it's safe to say that if you had been keeping up with this film with these leaks, that, like me, you would have immediately recognized who that character was and that it wasn't what you thought. But that's just my 2 cents on the thing. I want to know what you guys think about Colin Trevorrow coming out and saying that everybody in the media that was coming out with this is 100% wrong, and the couple people that actually did their due diligence and knew what the oracle was, like myself, were right. I'm just interested in what you think about the media and the way they run with these stories without doing any due diligence. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.